Avengers! Assemble.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Excelsior, the world's #1 Marvel's Avengers podcast. I'm your director, Christian Buckley, here for your episode for October 8th, 2022. As always, I am joined by the Apex Legend and the Pumpkin King, Jack Martin.
Excelsior. I like that little nickname. Remember when we used to beg Crystal Dynamics to put a single pumpkin in the game? I think the bar has shrank considerably since then, since we're not asking to do that.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know about you, but my October so far has been pumpkin filled. I've had at least 8 pumpkin coffees this season so far, and I'm counting the start of that season, which was, I think, sometime in August. Probably more than 8 then, honestly, but...
Yeah, I had several in September, because Duncan had like a deal where if you got it before... If you order them before October, they were, I think, $3. So I was just doing that.
You know what that is, Jack? That is rewarding the people who have a problem, I think. So,
you're right.
But that's me. So, how you doing? How you been?
I'm doing well. I'm trying to dive a little bit more into the season. I haven't really done that too much. We got some stuff later on in the show we'll talk about that will help me with that, but I don't think I've really done anything fall specific yet. But I should, because I like the season. I feel like I did all my fall stuff in September. Like Resident Evil.
That's fair. Sure.
And stuff like that, so I don't know.
I mean, we do live in New England, so it's very easy to stumble upon fall things.
Yep.
So
It's true.
I've already gone apple picking. I have carved a pumpkin.
Ooh, what'd you carve it into?
So I was going for the surprised Pikachu face.
Ooh.
And he looked more terrified than surprised.
Nice.
So, it's still fitting, you know?
Fitting, yeah.
But, like you, excited for some things later on in the show. Unfortunately, none of that is Halloween related with Avengers, but there are some cool Halloween things going on in the Marvel Universe. So why don't we dive into the show, Jack? Fury's Report, keeping it tight this week. A few updates for you. The Cosmic Threat is the current event in the game that is running until October 13th. Currently, we're in luck. I'm sure many listeners are in luck. Thor, triple XP for that bad boy. You get in there, you do anything, you earn triple XP. Congratulations.
You're playing the game. You're getting triple XP.
I am playing the game. I played... I had a clear morning for the first time in like 3 weeks for a Friday, so I was like, you know what? Let me get into Avengers. Let me see if there's anything I can do that I've fallen behind on. Mainly, I was like, you know what? I'm in a PlayStation party. I'm talking to my friends. I don't want to focus on story. So let me just play something where I don't have to pay attention. And I was like, I'll try and do some hives for that goddamn trophy. And funny enough, it worked. I don't know how it worked. I got the Hive trophy. I have 2 trophies left, and then the Platinum, which I'm very much intending on popping tonight. So,
Wow. That came together very, very nicely in the end. The Hive trophy, man, that has driven lesser men insane.
It's driven me insane. This morning, I was cursing this game out, dude. Like, I felt my brain dying doing these hives over and over and over again. And I thought it was like floors. So I did the Elite Heroic Hive, which is 14 floors. I did that 4 times. And then realized it was just the mission, not the floor count.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, all right, now I got to do normal hives. I almost gave up. Then I was like, well, they're only 5. I'm not going to do anything else right now, so let me just start this. And then on the 4th one, I got it. I was ready to like actually stop it, but I got it. So apparently those didn't reset. Strong boxes, I think, did.
Well, I'm happy on that regard because if for those that don't know, the hives, the tracker for trophies would reset with each update. So if you had like 49 hives done and then the game updated, it would go back to 0 for your trophy progress. So it was like basically impossible to do in a way. Like if you weren't like grinding it out in a couple days, then you would never get it. Like you had to be focused to do it. So I'm glad that worked out.
Thank you, me too. So ideally, get this done, put it down until my friend who does like what he's played of this wants to get in, or they drop Bucky. So that's my current plan.
Good.
But in the meantime, though, I am getting a lot of XP for Thor. He's buffed up like 30 champion levels now, so
Wow.
feeling good. But in addition to that, from now until October 13th, you'll also earn double resources on all missions. And let me tell you, I've been seeing some resources funnel in. I've been seeing some units. It's pretty nice.
There you go.
As a reminder, this was your last week to get the login bonus MCU skins. As of the release of this episode, I don't know how they're cutting it off, but it is the 8th, I think, is the final day you can get in there. So do it if you're listening to this. Check. If you're listening on Sunday, I'm sorry you missed out, but you did have like a month. So
Sure.
lastly, as a reminder, the Captain America Secret Empire outfit is the shipment outfit until November 3rd. Again, claim 100 shipments, lock in your Hydra-fied Captain America skin. But in the marketplace right now, we got some exciting stuff going on. Jack, let's hear about it.
Yes. I don't have the name of this suit in front of me, but
I'm sorry.
That's okay. This is a new. I don't even know how to get to the War Table blog at this point.
Dude, it's a struggle. Some weeks it doesn't exist.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Yep. Anyways, it's a Thor one. He has like this black sort of. It's inspired by the comics. It looks like it's the Ultimate Thor
Yeah, it's Ultimate Thor is the comic skin.
from issue 4. Yeah. So it mostly black, kind of shiny. He has like a big WWE belt on with two. They look like eyes, but they're like those sort of electric nodes that he has over his body. And he's got 4 of those on his chest as well. He's got these big gauntlets with those nodes on as well. This is cool. I don't think I would, certainly wouldn't get it. This seems like it would be a skin already in the game that you could get in like his character kit. That's kind of how I view it.
I agree, but this is like when I first saw Thor, it was this. Because my introduction to Thor, as was with many, many, many Marvel characters, was because as a youth, I played Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the PS2. And that's exactly how Thor looked. That was his fit. So I kind of need this, but it's not on sale in the Thor sale. This is the one thing excluded from it. I might have to move some funds around, or wait for the next time there's a sale.
I hear that. I'm looking up the like actual comic look. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. Also, I realized, and this might just be me being a stupid idiot like I was this morning with the Hive thing, but like, was Ultimate Alliance called Ultimate Alliance because it was like the ultimate version of the characters? Is that like, is that why?
I don't know. Was it all the ultimate versions? Like, was Miles Morales in there?
No, because this was before, like, Ultimate Spider-Man before Miles was still Peter.
Okay.
He just had, like, an edgy haircut,
I don't know.
Because that really felt like a 2 + 2 = 4 moment that I never connected. So I'll have to look into that later, but that really felt like an epiphany,
I'm going to look this up in the background.
Okay.
Because I'm interested myself.
So, in the meantime,
yes,
in the marketplace, it was. God damn it! Oh my god, I feel so stupid.
Ultimate Alliance is set within the fictional Marvel. Oh wait, no, sorry, I read that wrong. Okay. I'm gonna keep looking.
Okay. Currently, in the marketplace, there's a sale on all Thor things again, except the MCU outfits and this brand new Ultimate outfit for the game. But you get 50% off all the other outfits, 50% off all nameplates, 50% off all emotes, 50% off all takedowns for Thor. Congratulations, Thor mains. Spruce up your guy. Our guy. Get in there and get it done. But that's really it for Avengers. Outside of the fact that for a brief moment in my playtime over the last like 16 hours, I felt very happy. I was like, I missed playing as Thor in this game and melting things.
Oh yeah.
And it's still fun. I like throwing the hammer. And then things got rough when I was on like hour 3 of Hives. But like I still like this game. I still like playing it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I
It's
just
very
don't
fun.
like the Hives. I think that's it. That's my big problem.
Yeah, the trophies in this aren't great, and that's probably the worst one. Could not confirm if it was set because of the ultimate
Okay. Do you ever
characters.
play those? I think
No,
I asked you that already. No.
I never did. I can't
It's a
even.
shame.
I can
Yeah.
like barely picture what they look like. They're like sort of isometric in a way.
Yeah, dude. They're like, oh my god, that's such a bummer. Cause like, they were Activision, and I want to say NeverSoft did the first one at least. I could be wrong on that, but it's when Activision had the Marvel license, right? And genuinely, Ultimate Alliance is the reason I love Marvel. And that game is completely unavailable anywhere unless you can track down a physical copy. So again, the only hope I have held out for being able to buy that game digitally is if somehow once that Activision deal goes through, Phil is like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Marvel, let us like put up this back catalog because Ultimate Alliance rules, dude. It's very
Whoa.
good."
Now that I'm thinking about it, and I looked it up, it's a Raven who developed that. That's an odd one.
Whoa, pre-COD days.
Yeah. I think Raven also did.
Wolverine,
Uh,
right?
what's that?
Origins.
Oh, I don't know.
I think
I
they did
think they.
Wolverine Origins.
Let me look that up. I'm in a Wikipedia rabbit hole right now, but I remember they did. I believe they did one of the Wolfensteins, or that could be someone else.
Huh.
But yeah, they are an interesting developer.
Yeah. I would love Tony Hawk style Ultimate Alliance 1+2 remaster with some co-op, buff those visuals because they were truthfully very fun, very great levels. Like weird deep cuts in there. Like at the time, it was a deep cut to see Doctor Strange. I was like, "Who the hell is that guy?" You know, it's like I just know Hulk and the X-Men and Fantastic Four and Spidey, but it's a cool
Yeah,
game.
it seems cool. I would love for that, and you just open the doors wide open with that Activision suggestion because
Hmm.
there's so many like even the old Spider-Man games.
Yeah, dude.
So they did do X-Men Origins Wolverine, and they released Wolfenstein in the same year. That's really impressive.
Yeah, man. I obviously consolidation's a scary thing. It's not good. I'm not rooting for this. However, I know they would probably do everything they can money wise to be able to get some of like the good Activision Marvel games available on their store only. So like that door's open, like you said, in the future, should everything go through.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah. And then we can play some sweet Ultimate Alliance, dude. Ultimate Alliance 2, their entire thing was Civil War. That was the game.
Whoa, oh, that's so
Pretty cool. But that's it for Avengers. I'm enjoying my time. But meanwhile, a few things going on. 'Tis the season. Happy Halloween. As of today, Werewolf by Night has released 50 minutes on Disney Plus, directed by Michael Giacchino, and impressions seem pretty good. I've been hearing some positive things about it.
Yes, every review I've watched, like sort of like general review, has been very positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very excited to check this out. This is definitely one of those things where I want to be in the season, celebrate the season, Halloween, and this is one of those things to do it. So, very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. And I always love when Marvel taps into their more demonic side of the comics, and I am hoping we see some of that here. You know, I remember there were rumors for a long time that Blade was going to be in this. We talked about how that got backtracked a while ago, but regardless, I'm excited for it. It's a very cool idea, and it kind of reminds me. Remember back in the day we had the Marvel one shots on the Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is obviously much more produced than those were because those were only like 7 minutes long. But I want more of these.
Yes. Yeah, just from the way people have described it, and also seeing some of the footage,
Yeah.
looks pretty incredible. It reminds me of Immortality and how that game used it seemed like they used like old technology to film that, and it looks like they did something similar here where they actually used old film tech or they edited it in a way to make it look like that. So it looks pretty incredible.
Yeah, like you. I'm very excited to watch it. So looking forward to that tonight. We got a report. We got two reports actually. First up, this one was a bit more recent via Deadline. Michael Waldron, writer of Loki, Multiverse of Madness, and I believe he did a little work on WandaVision, has allegedly, according to their sources, been tapped to write Secret Wars. Now, Jack, I feel like we've talked a little bit about Michael Waldron as a writer here before, but Loki, Multiverse, you enjoyed both of those. Does this do anything for your expectations or confidence for the culmination of the multiverse saga in Avengers Secret Wars?
I think it's definitely a positive. I think for me, it's harder to identify writers as compared to like directors in a way. Like the directors have, I feel like, more of a profound sense of style that you just see in multiple different venues in a film or TV. But Loki had some pretty incredible writing. There were some really great lines throughout Loki as well. So, yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked Multiverse of Madness, even some of the lines that some people didn't love. But yeah, I fully understand some of the critiques people have of Michael Waldron and his work so far. Specifically, I know Loki gets a lot of like discourse around some of the decisions made, but yeah, I think this is interesting. I'm always curious when the MCU taps non-directorial talent multiple times. You know, like we've seen composers gone back to multiple times for multiple different types of movies. Like I know Brian Tyler did Thor. He did the Marvel fanfare. He did Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to say he did one of the Ant-Man films, but yeah, passing the writers around. I think we've also seen that happen a few times as well. So curious. Secret Wars is going to be a very big deal. Multiverse had less stuff than people were expecting to be juggled, I think, but Secret Wars is probably going to go all out. Do you feel that your enjoyment of Multiverse, like character-wise, the balance between all the characters, could you see that working maybe in that format on a larger scale with however many characters show up in Secret Wars?
Yeah, I suppose. I think maybe even Endgame is a better comparison because they had so much, and I guess obviously Michael Waldron did Multiverse of Madness, but just Marvel in general, I feel like they handled the sheer amount of characters in Infinity War and Endgame very well. And even if like one character felt sidelined in one movie, the other movie they showed up and like had their time to shine. But I think they have proven that they can strike that balance quite well. Secret Wars might be a different beast entirely because
Yeah.
there might be like 1,000 characters in this thing. So who knows? But at least from what they've done so far, they have my confidence in that regard.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about this choice. And clearly Kevin Feige likes this guy because he has also tapped for the Feige produced Star Wars film. So got a lot of Waldron in the pipeline. So lastly, Variety came out with a report about a little over a week ago, but we wanted to address it here and really talk about what this could mean. Armor Wars, the Disney Plus series that I believe is going to go into production at some point next year, has been bumped to be a full feature-length, theatrically released film. Don Cheadle is still starring. The writer who was attached to the series is still on board as the writer. I think we may have like briefly mentioned the fact that it's being brought up, but do you feel that this sort of willingness to bump something is something we'll see going forward for other projects, or maybe even in the reverse of this?
Yeah, maybe depending on what they're doing for like in like the pre-production stage. If
Mm-hmm.
they're laying things out and are like, this will not serve well as a movie, should be. You always make the comparison of Rogue One being like, oh, that you think that should have been a TV show, would have that might have served it better in that format. I think it's certainly possible going in the future if they're in the pre-production stage, like they are with Armor Wars, to be like, nah, this would be better as a movie. Like we don't really want to stretch this story out into however many episodes because that would feel thin. Which is fantastic. I was so excited by this news.
Mm-hmm.
I am not really on the Disney Plus train for Marvel anymore. Everything has kind of felt samey in a lot of ways. Like I've enjoyed most of the things that have come out, but not to a great extent. And it's only like a handful that I've really, really enjoyed on the same quality level as the movies in the MCU. So the fact that Don Cheadle is getting his own movie as War Machine has me very excited. And I feel like that's really where the care and the quality is going in the MCU these days and kind of has always been there. So this has me more reassured for this project.
Yeah, I fully agree with your sentiment. The Disney Plus Marvel shows I think have all been like solid because Marvel's at a point now where I feel like it is hard for them to make something below a certain bar of quality. Just in terms of like a functional story that's being told through television or film. Um, it's not as like wide of a gap between the quality of some of the earlier projects, I think. But I agree with you. I think that the TV shows have suffered, and a lot of them really don't stand out to me. A lot of them fall in the middle of my rankings, with very few exceptions. And I think through the conversations we've had about She-Hulk and just seeing how that show's progressed, right? I think I just keep feeling that a lot of these shows aren't meant to be shows. Like they are 6 hour movies and they're not good movies, right? Like just condense them to be a stronger project and then boom, good movie. And I hope that's the direction they're going with Armor Wars, right? Because that concept is great. We all love Rhodey. Don Cheadle's a great actor. So allowing him to be a leading man in a project for Marvel and maybe elevate his character to a even larger role in this universe moving forward for the next couple of years until it all wraps up in Secret Wars. Personally, I'd be down for that. I really like War Machine and Rhodey, so yeah, I'm hoping for the best. I also am excited because I feel there's better a chance now that Sam Rockwell comes back for the movie
Sure,
compared to the show.
sure. That's a
But
good point. I really feel and I hope that Andor has a profound effect on the Disney Plus model. That show kind of came out of the middle of nowhere and decided to do its own thing and feel like an actual production rather than like a show that takes place entirely in the volume. And
mhm.
of course, Disney has like found success and made some really good quality shows with that, like The Mandalorian. But I don't know. I feel like it's felt pretty stale at this point, and Andor has been kind of a breath of fresh air in a lot of ways on the production side of things. So if maybe Marvel is like looking at something like Armor Wars being like, okay, this is better suited and like we need our full attention with this. And going forward with Disney Plus shows, maybe we want to cater that to show that projects that really need to use the TV format and do it well and not just do it in a way that other Disney Plus shows have done where it kind of just feels like everyone's standing in a room and nothing's really impactful.
Yeah, like for instance, if you look ahead to something next year, we have what is it, Secret Invasion, right? Like you would hope that that premise would lend itself well to television, as like a week by week big cliffhanger espionage vibe sort of a thing. And the reason that it seems like we both have felt She-Hulk works so well as a TV show so far is because it's a very low investment and it's entertaining and it's very fresh in Marvel, even though it is a comedy and a lot of Marvel has comedy. Like it's tackling it in a way that feels like it's serving a new purpose. Where, to me at least, stuff like I know we always go back to Hawkeye. Like I liked Hawkeye fine, but like that just very much felt like this is Marvel. This is Marvel humor. This is a quippy quip, and then 6 hours later we moved on. So I think if they can tap into that more and like really embrace the TV stuff, or just don't make it a TV project, I'm with you. We'll be in a better spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
So we'll see when that lands our way, but we will see Don Cheadle in Secret Invasion. We'll also see Riri Williams, who I believe is also supposed to be in the Armor Wars project in Wakanda Forever this November. There was a new trailer this week. Did you watch that?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did watch it. I've kind of gotten over my don't watch trailers phase because they're just so avoidable or unavoidable at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I won't watch like teasers the week of, like TV spots or whatever.
Sure.
But I did watch it. I liked it. I think I still like the first trailer a lot better. But it was good. Got my tickets. So looking forward to that. But how about you?
So I haven't watched it, but I have seen screen grabs and I've heard, some of the conversation around it. Very planning on seeing it in IMAX. I did when I saw Avatar for the re-release. They did play the initial Wakanda Forever trailer in IMAX, and I was like, oh boy, this again, what a trailer! But also, this is what I would like to see on this screen because it's just, at least in the trailer, shot very beautifully. A lot of the landscape scenes they have against like the waterfront and stuff like that. So also, it's just very striking with a lot of like the stark white outfits in what seems to be like a ceremony. But the big conversation I have seen is that it is almost entirely likely, unless they do a Force Awakens style bait and switch, Shuri's probably Black Panther moving forward.
Yeah,
So.
that's what it seems. I was hoping for M'Baku to take over, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have suggested maybe like it's not a one person, it's kind of a group of people.
Yeah, I think there was a quote about that. I think Ryan Coogler said something early on that said like multiple people would wear the suit in the film, but
Right.
You would imagine by the end there's like one person who steps up to do that and become
Yeah.
the successor.
Yeah, I wonder if that is Shuri by the end of the movie. All signs point to it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everyone's problem with that, ours included, is because of the off-screen drama with the actress.
Yeah.
And some things she said. So I don't know. It feels it's hard to separate that in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like Shuri as a character, I really like, and I really
yeah.
like how she's been integrated so far. And for her character, who's been very much this like leaning on the adolescent side of things, like adolescent genius character vibe. Very curious to see the arc she goes through in this film to take on the mantle and you would assume responsibility. Like, I don't know if she's taking over as like, because T'Challa was king at the last time we saw him, right? Like his mom was still around as like a matriarch, but he was king, right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm wondering if she's gonna take over those responsibilities as well. But yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be a big one. This is gonna be a huge movie.
Yeah, I think it has the chance to be the best Phase 4 movie. This and Spider-Man.
Oh, I think I think it's gonna dethrone Spider-Man personally. Spider-Man's a great event.
Sure, yes. That's a good point.
This is gonna be a great movie. You would hope.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
just ask Martin Scorsese. Anyway, it's time for She-Hulk. Do you think Martin Scorsese would like She-Hulk?
No, no, I don't think he would. Upon reflection, no, I don't think he would.
I see a world where he watches an episode and he's like, you see, this knows what it is. You know?
Sure.
So, this week, She-Hulk, winding things down for the season. But things are popping off. General thoughts on this episode. I feel like this, as opposed to previous weeks, there's a lot of substance here, not only because of the guest character, but I've seen the sentiment a lot online, at least on my TikTok feed, of a lot of people being like, best episode so far, and it's not because of Daredevil. I promise, guys, it's not because of Daredevil. But how did this one hit you? How do you feel?
This probably is my favorite episode of the show so far. I liked episode 1 a lot too, but yeah, I feel like a lot of the episodes were just fun but had no real like emotional or character substance to them. Like I didn't really feel like Jen was growing as a character. But I feel like you kind of see a lot of that here, which was nice. But I mean, also Daredevil's fantastic in this, and I feel like this is an absolute best case scenario for his appearance in the show, because I know a lot of people had concerns he'd be too comedic. But I don't really felt that he was too like zany or over the top. Like he definitely had like some funny lines here or there and was placed in some funny situations, but nothing felt out of character. And I mean, he went right back to the character he's really good at playing, so it all felt great.
Yeah, so let's dig into that a little bit deeper, right? Because I agree with you. I think he's crushing it. I think I don't know if it was just because it was so brief in No Way Home or that it was a minute, but it did feel like a bit of an adjustment to seeing him again in Spider-Man outside of the hype behind it, you know? And here I think it's very clear he got a bit more time to breathe with playing Matt again, and that he looked comfortable and fell back into it, you know, very, very easily. But I'm with you where, yeah, he had a couple jokes and stuff, but I feel like a lot of people forget. Like, there's some comedy in the Daredevil show. Like, he makes a lot of, at least funny Catholicism jokes that I like. But,
Yeah.
in the comics as well, like, at least from some of the Daredevil that I've read, like, Matt Murdock is a womanizer jokester. You know, Daredevil's the one who's depressed all the time, and even then, Daredevil's like flipping around, making some jokes in the comics. So I thought it's a good balance, personally.
Yeah. I think his appearance in this was really fantastic in pretty much every way. I thought I'm really disappointed that this wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
Because like the way he enters is so sudden. It's like, whoa. Like if this was not in the trailers, if his helmet didn't appear early in the show, I think that would have been really something. But of course they had to do that. But no, I thought they handled it very, very well. I really liked his appearance. I thought the chemistry between him and She-Hulk was excellent.
Oh, yeah.
And worked very well. Nothing felt like too forced or anything. And it was great. I didn't like the suit. I'll tell you that much.
I didn't mind it because there wasn't as much yellow as I thought there would be. If it was like more on the bottom half too, like it is in the comic design, you know, where it's like the legs are entirely yellow. It's like he's wearing just like a wrestler's unitard that's red and black for the torso. Like if it was more of that, I'd feel a bit more iffy. But like we talked about a lot, this is probably temporary for these 2 episodes, and
Yeah.
it wasn't as yellow as it could have been. So I thought it was fine, but I
think
definitely more of a fan of the red for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it's one of those things where it looks way better on the pages of a comic.
Sure.
And as soon as they bring it to real life, it's like, nah, this doesn't work.
It's funny you say that. Quick aside, I've been thinking about that a lot with the Deadpool 3 stuff. Because people have always said that about the Wolverine costume, you know?
Yeah.
They're absolutely going to try it, right?
I feel like they do have to try it. That's the sentiment I've heard from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna look.
I don't
Like
either, dude.
the yellow Wolverine suit is so exaggerated.
Yeah.
And like if you look at that in like a cartoon or in Fortnite or anything like
Hmm.
that, or the comics obviously, that looks great because it's in that like constructed world where bright colors make sense. But as soon as you put that in the real world with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, I don't know if that looks great. I would love to be proven wrong,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. But I guess a couple other things about Daredevil in this. The other thing to keep in mind, just based off of things that Charlie Cox has said, right? With his show, he's got 18 episodes to work with, and he said there's going to be room for all the different tones that they can fit into that. So they're going to have darker stuff and have some levity. But like look at the entire MCU, right? There's solo movie Captain America, and then there's team up Captain America. Very different early on to Captain America's. A bit more, syncope, a bit more yeah, whatever it is. It's more in line with the two distinctions as we get to the end of the MCU's initial saga. But I feel like there's been that issue with characters for a very long time. Like Hulk, even. Look at Hulk in Avengers movies versus like Ragnarok or even this show. So I think there's still room for Daredevil to be darker. And he even does some pretty violent stuff in this, not to the extent of the bloodiness of his show or things he's done before, but still good choreography, I thought, in the action stuff.
Yeah, for the most part, I thought it was good. I liked him like sort of jumping around on the parking lot.
Hmm.
That set was cool. Of course, they put him in a hallway scene. Obviously,
Hmm.
not as great as the Daredevil
Yeah.
show. Like they cut around a lot of it,
Hmm.
which is expected. I didn't expect them to really do like a one shot, true to form Daredevil hallway scene,
Hmm.
but the homage was good enough. I thought.
I agree. Beyond just seeing Charlie Cox Daredevil back again, we have a bit more development for Jen this week. Sort of like she's had a problem, like you said, this entire season with like accepting the situation and wanting to live both lives in a way that is like good for both halves of her. And I think this episode and especially her interactions with Matt has helped that a lot. So do you feel that because we spend so many episodes, again, brief, not a huge investment, just sitcom approach to character and development, do you feel that some of the improvements in her character arc in this episode landed well for you, or do you think that the stretch of episodes between the beginning and then here were a bit too meandering on that front for you to feel any impact?
Well, I mean, like what you said, it was a sitcom sort of
Yeah.
take on things. So you can go several episodes without having any character progression in
Hmm.
a sitcom. And I feel like we got that in a lot of ways with some of the episodes in the show. But I think it worked for me at the end. I actually think Matt does a lot for Jen in this in terms of just like having a person to talk to who
Hmm.
is an equal and like they both understand each other because of the duality of their identities. So I think that was very helpful. Um, so yeah, I think by the end of this episode, I'm pretty comfortable where she's at.
I agree. I just wanted to see where your head was at there because I think that was a worry a lot of people had throughout the entirety of the show. We even brought it up as a possibility of like how much investment, how much growth can we feel if most of it is just 20-minute sitcom episodes. But the fact that they're able to have a compelling, you know, push from like a character development standpoint after having several weeks of just like a good time has me hopeful and confident that they're going to experiment more, and when it's fitting, tackle a character in a way that is not just the way they tackle characters in movies. So,
Yeah, and I like the format.
me
I think
too.
it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge, massive revelation, some might say, development, others would say, vindication, I would say. Team Cap was in the right.
Why is that?
The Sokovia Accords repealed.
Oh yeah,
They were BS. They were some
it's
nonsense. How did you feel hearing that? Because I was smiling.
yeah. I mean, it was kind of a throwaway line in a lot of ways, but it was cool. But I mean, it means so much more like to the greater MCU. But it was interesting to hear that coming out of Matt Murdock's mouth, to be like, oh yes, so this guy's canon for sure, and for him to know like all that history. But yeah, in terms of like the ramifications on the MCU, yeah, I mean, I was a Team Cap guy, of course.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you're
And
kind of supposed to be.
yeah, you're supposed to be, man. You are. And because I think it's funny also because again, just like seeing the conversation around like the growing Marvel fandom over the last couple years since the pandemic started, and it like expanded even more since the Endgame break. But a lot of people really think that Team Iron Man was the way to go because of like responsibility or something. And then as soon as Matt Murdock says everything he says about the Sokovia Accords, people on Twitter being like, wait, you guys thought I was Team Iron Man because it was political stuff? No, it's because I like Spider-Man. I'm like, okay, that's not what you were fighting down in the pit for 4 months ago. But you know what, man? It's sweet. Team Cap wins. Cap gets to survive through Sam Wilson. It's a great day to be a fan of Captain America, you know?
Indeed.
But any other standouts? We got something left in this show, right? We got probably a fight. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she gets, like, Intelligentsia does some pretty heinous things to her,
Yeah.
and that sets us up for something. You're right. It does set us up for something. I really don't even know what the next move is here. But it's the final episode next week, isn't it?
Yeah. Wrap up next week. So
That came pretty quickly.
it really did. Honestly, that was fast, and I don't think I can say that about any other show so far.
No.
It's funny too because isn't this the longest show?
9 episodes?
Yeah, WandaVision was 8, right?
Yeah. I think you might be right.
Wow, look at that longest show for Marvel. Flew by. That's
I think
nuts.
I think it's those 20-minute episodes.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. And I really can't say much else beyond what we said already, but like this approach, like to try to replicate this with other characters, not one to one, but like be open to being experimental. I hope that's the lesson they take out of this,
Yeah, I agree.
because that's the best part of this show, man.
Every episode feels different. Like it's not like Moon Knight where that feels like a movie that was just straight up cut up into however many parts. And this feels like a proper TV show.
Yeah, and I know we say that every single week, but like that needs to come across as the big takeaway from this show, I hope. And
Yeah.
you know, since this show started, they bumped Armor Wars to be in a movie, so maybe they are learning something out of this, you know?
True.
But any final thoughts, any hopes or dreams for next week's finale of She-Hulk before we sign off?
No, again, I don't even know what's gonna. I don't even know like the plot of what's gonna happen next week. Obviously, she'll take on Intelligentsia or whatever, and whoever's behind that. I wonder what we do for like a post credit, and like where this leads into. Like, do we do Hulk stuff? Because I think the MCU can do a proper Hulk movie, or at least the rights to Universal's claim over like solo Hulk movies. I think that ends in 2025
Okay.
from what I've heard. So, I mean, maybe they tease that. I think he's off to Sakaar, I believe. So I don't know if that's a possibility, but yeah, I'm curious on the post credit for this.
Yeah, me too. I think there's a chance that it's what was the guy from the Incredible Hulk leader, right? There's been a lot
Yep.
of buzz around him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or maybe like furthering that plot. Red Hulk setup,
Daredevil even.
Thunderbolts. Yeah, Daredevil. You could see where he ends up after he dips out. So a
If
lot of
Foggy shows
possibilities,
up, I
dude. Oh
will
my god,
lose my mind.
that'd be so good. I really hope so. I hope it's him like in LaGuardia or something, and then
Yeah.
Foggy's there. And he's like, "Oh, any women on the trip?" And he's like, "Maybe," or something like that.
Right. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh man. But one more week of She-Hulk. We will be here. We will be talking about it. But until then, Jack, where can the agents of Excelsior find you?
Sure, you can find me on Twitter at FascinatedJack. I will plug our Hall of Game that we just recorded that you can find on youtube.com/joyclicks. Huge upset. Huge
Massive.
upset. And it's really funny. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I suggest you go find out what that was because it was pretty shocking, but hilarious at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's that.
It's like for people who have stuck around for the MCU talk, right? Imagine if there was a movie Hall of Fame for like pop movies, and at a convention, Infinity War was brought, or like The Dark Knight, and like they got chump change when it came to the votes. Imagine that.
Yeah, like
Imagine that.
imagine Ant-Man and the Wasp won over the Dark Knight. But
Wow.
yeah, that's it for me. What about you?
Sure, you can find me everywhere at Chun2D2, Twitter, TikTok, anywhere else. PlayStation, you can see my hour count in Avengers, which is shameful. You can find this show on Twitter at ExcelsiorJC. You can find the video version of Excelsior every weekend on youtube.com/joyclicks, along with the archive of the Hall of Game, like Jack mentioned. I will shout out this coming Monday after this episode posts. Tune in, same YouTube channel for the Long Play Club. We are returning. We are talking Batman Arkham City Part 1. That playthrough discussion's kicking off, so you can stick around for that. But if you want the audio version of Excelsior, you can find it on your favorite audio platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Just look up Excelsior, Joyclicks, or Avengers Game Podcast. You will find us. Rating and reviewing is an easy way to help us out. It takes a quick second to tap 5 stars if you enjoy the show. Leaving a review is also nice. Takes a little bit longer, but you got a little bit of time. Patreon.com/joyclicks is where you can go to support the shows monetarily at the $1 and $5 tiers. $5 gives you producer credit on every show we produce, like Aaron Easton and Jose Garcia. So thank you very much, and that is Excelsior for the weekend of October 8th. We'll be back next week with the She-Hulk finale, probably some Werewolf by Night impressions. 'Tis the season.
Oh yes.
And until then, Excelsior.